ain't got no time to love. Never trusted how it made me feel. Ain't got no time to know. Just get my hands on mine, on mine. But when I got you beside me, don't even gotta try it, baby. Poisoning parts of my mind. Boy, you got me losing my pride. Giving all the things that I need. Holding nobody else. Hooked on this love of shit. If you are.
Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today I really want to touch on Fatu music career. Fatu is the main and only rapper of Blackswan, and through moments of little to no music in Blackswan and between the sidelines, she's helped Blackswan pave way in moments of uncertainty through her collabs with an R&B singer named Leanin', as well as her independent albums, which include realist takes on her life, emotions, and fame. Fatu has undoubtedly helped Blackswan from sinking. Fatu produced and worked on over 14 songs, counting her special song to fans called We Go Up and being featured. But she didn't start with the amazing experience and flow when she first started her solo career. She herself said she felt as if she didn't fully express herself in her first album, Pop, and said her new album is more real and deeper, which I honestly agree with. I think I only really liked 1 or 2 songs from her first album, but it felt like they honestly lacked something. I think Fatu has finally found her element and just her voice, but as she was growing this process or success, many had a lot to say. One of the main things I saw was that her English wasn't understandable, or her accent makes it difficult to understand her. I saw a lot of comments like this. But Fatu isn't a native English speaker, so of course even with the many years she has known English, she is still going to have an accent. To me though, her lyrics are understandable and clear. Yes, of course at times I'm sure it was difficult to hear what she said because your ears were probably clogged by any blackness and self-hate, but please keep the same energy when it comes to Korean and Asian idols. If someone was to say their English wasn't understandable or unclear and mock them, whoever said those things would be getting addressed and hated on. Another comment I saw during her first album was that she uses the N-word a lot, or she is using the N-word to sound cool, or she shouldn't be using the N-word because she's in K-pop. She really doesn't use the N-word a lot. Most of the time she uses the N-word in the same repeated sentences, and I even counted how many times she said the N-word in a past TikTok with her album Pop, and it was only 4 to 7 times in all her songs. I don't even think she uses the N-word in her most recent album. I think people was just shocked because she hadn't really used the N-word in her Blackswan songs, but she's a black woman, she can use the N-word in her songs, mostly on her solo album and however many times she wants. I find it funny that y'all give a pass to non-black people in the music industry when it comes to using the N-word in both forms. But when a black woman sings it in a correct way in her own album that isn't related to her group, expressing herself and her experience with hate, then everyone is mad and wanting to say something. I understand how a Korean fanbase might be influenced with saying it, but believe me, Korean people know what the N-word is because of how much it's influenced in their music genres. And if they don't, they are either elderly or a child. I've seen many videos of people going around Korea, and most of the everyday Korea people knew what the N-word was both in English and Korea. They all knew that the word could have negative influence. People who listen to rap and hip-hop in Korea are very familiar with the word, and by the end of the day, even if black people play hush-hush around Korean music, Koreans themselves will always drag it and say it for amusement. And like Nicki said in a past interview,
how do you feel about, like, because you have young fans like that, and your lyrics are pretty explicit.
Yeah. You know what? I'm realizing that I don't have to deal with it. I'm not their parents. We give advice, and you guys know I always give my young little ladybugs my most precious advice.
Fatu isn't responsible for the actions her fans to a certain extent. Whether they say it or don't say it has nothing to do with her because they are their own person. If they can search her music, then can search the meaning of the N-word. It's just that simple. The N-word isn't a new concept or a 2024 thing. It's been around since the 90s, and believe me, it's been a couple decades since it got introduced in Korean music by Korean music 9 times out of time copying black dancers or preforming blackface with fro wigs. Y'all didn't care before, so why do y'all now? Because a black woman is expressing herself without limitations? Y'all make educating yourself seem so difficult when it isn't. I've also seen people in both her albums eras say people only like her music because she's black, and people are only supporting her because she's black. First, What's wrong with that? She's one of the only black idols of her color and origin in K-pop, and I don't see it a problem if someone were to support her because of that, mostly when it comes to black people. The only problem I have is when people don't actually like her music but support her because she's a black woman. If you don't like her music or her group's music, then why are you supporting her in the first place? She's a singer, not an object. If you don't enjoy her music and you are saying I didn't like her mixtape but I still stan her, then you should just leave because you are doing more harm than good in the community. To add on to this is being my last point. People claim that Fatu is the favorite because of independent works, but I'll kinda copy what I said in a comment of mine. I wouldn't consider her the favorite because I don't think DR Music directly helped her with her solo career. She had to collab and produce her own lyrics, and even with her most recent album she had to be her own director. DR Music just gave her the tools to do so. The other members probably have the independent chances like her, like with Navi K-drama song, but just don't have the time or creativity, not in a mean way, to be able to do what Fatu does. They may not have some of the skills to be able to work without DR Music direct help, like for say not being able to write their own music, which isn't a bad thing. Most of the K-pop industry can't, but Fatu being able to write her own music definitely helped with the process. It would be one thing if DR Music gave her the lyrics, gave her the beats, etc., but DR Music only gave her staff and a limited budget, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of that budget came out of Fatu's pocket or made her solo music career get put on hold. Fatu's solo career is all her. Just because DR Music posted it on their accounts doesn't mean they really did anything remotely well to help her. Honestly, they are in my mind one of the reasons why Fatu made the deep, realistic, emotional albums about the draining exceptions put on her and the hate she received. I think it's selfish to call her the favorite when things are finally going well in her career after all her suffering. That is the end of today's video. Make sure to check out Fatu's solo works and her personal blog channel. I have linked her personal channel in my community tab, and I made a recent video of me ranking all her songs you should check out.